What do a burst of watermain breaks, a goalie carousel in Ottawa, and a World Juniors bronze have in common? They're all shaping your week in the capital, right now. It's Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. Quick weather hit for Ottawa. Cloudy with light snow today, around -1 degrees Celsius, a high of 1 and a low of -3. Let's start under our streets. City crews are working overtime after a surge in winter water main leaks and breaks, driven by that deep freeze and our aging pipes. If you've noticed discolored water or reduced pressure, you're not alone. The city says crews are prioritizing the biggest impacts first and trying to keep disruptions to a minimum. Long-term, Ottawa faces a tough balance, upgrading old infrastructure fast enough to handle harsher winters and frequent freeze-thaw swings, while keeping costs in check. This is where climate meets the city budget. Extreme cold stresses pipes, and climate volatility makes those swings more unpredictable. One promising trend we're seeing in other cities is AI-assisted leak detection, acoustic sensors and pattern recognition to find weak spots before they fail. It's not a silver bullet, but it's the kind of proactive approach that could help Ottawa stretch every dollar. In the meantime, keep an eye on city alerts, know how to shut off your home's water in a pinch, and call 311 to report leaks. On the ice, the Ottawa Senators made a goaltending move after Monday's rough night against the Red Wings, recalling Mads Søgaard from Belleville. The timing tells you the team wants a steadier hand while they sort out defensive lapses. Up front, Drake Atherson rang in the new year with a rare fight, and an even rarer heater on the scoresheet. He put up 7 goals and 16 points in 13 December games, and the underlying numbers back it up. At 5-on-5, he's posting career-best rates, with 16 goals and 39 points already, despite missing 3 games. He's riding a 19.5% shooting clip compared to his career norm around the low teens, so some regression is normal, but he's driving play, not just riding luck. That's the kind of form the Sens need if they're going to claw back ground. The rumor mill has Ottawa GM Steve Staios combing the market for a top 4 right-shot defenseman and depth up front. Yes, Rasmus Andersson's name is back on the board, but it's a crowded field, with Vegas, Dallas, Toronto, and Los Angeles reportedly interested. Ottawa's said to be reluctant to move blue-chip prospects like Carter Yakimchuk or Logan Hensler, and that tracks. You don't plug one hole by creating another. Elsewhere, Vancouver has made another offer to Kiefer Sherwood, though the sides still have a gap, and there's fresh chatter around Andrew Mangiapane's future. Remember, he's under contract in Calgary, so watch for clarity before you buy any jersey mock-ups. As always with trade rumor season, lots of smoke, not all of it signals fire. Across town, the Ottawa Charge in the women's game have signed goaltender Sarah Coe after Sani Ahola was placed on long-term injured reserve with illness. Coe comes in with a strong NCAA resume at RIT, including a .908 save percentage and the second most career games and minutes in program history. That's experience you can trust on short notice. The Charge needs stability in the crease while Ahola recovers, and Coe's workload history suggests she can shoulder it. Nationally, the Winnipeg Jets skid hit 10 after an overtime loss to Vegas, but there were bright spots. Cole Perfetti opened the scoring, and veteran Luke Schenn marked his 1,100th NHL game with his first goal as a Jet to make it 2-0. Vegas clawed back on goals from Mark Stone and Brett Howden, and Kyle Connor briefly restored the lead late before Vegas snatched it in extra time. The scary moment. Jets defenseman Hayden Fleury was taken to hospital but was alert and moving as he left the arena. We'll watch for updates. On the international front, a lot of you are thinking ahead to the 2026 Olympics. Team Canada's recent Four Nations lineup looks like a strong blueprint: continuity, depth, and pace. Team USA, meanwhile, may lean a little older in a few spots, pairing veteran experience with elite young talent to raise their floor and special teams ceiling. It's a smart adjustment. The margins are thin, and small edges in matchups and leadership can swing medal games. Speaking of elite youth, Canada grabbed bronze at the World Juniors. Hockey historian Liam McGuire's take is pretty simple. Canada remains a top power and will keep proving it. Bronze isn't the goal, but it's still a podium, and the pipeline looks healthy. To tennis, Canada's United Cup run ended early after a promising start, with strong moments from Felix Auger-Aliassime and rising talent Victoria Mboko. The pivot begins now. Tennis Canada has named its squad for the first round of Davis Cup qualifiers coming early this year. Also, a tip of the cap to Vasek Pospisil. After 18 years on tour, he shared heartfelt closing remarks with the Canadian tennis community, hinting that this could be it. If so, he leaves a legacy that includes one of the country's defining Davis Cup pushes and a lot of inspiration for the next wave. A local high-performance standout to watch, Grace Dingwall. Fueled by a rugby family background, she helped Ontario to a silver in women's sevens at the 2025 Canada Summer Games, then tore it up in her first year with the University of Ottawa GGs, leading in tries, winning RSEQ Rookie of the Year, and helping the GGs reach the RSEQ final and qualify for nationals. That's the kind of trajectory that screams future national team caps. Before we go, a word on a story bouncing around corners of the internet claims that the U.S. government arrested Canadian leader Mark Carney in a raid tied to drug trafficking allegations. As of this recording, there's no confirmation from Canadian or U.S. authorities, and the scenario described would be extraordinary. Cross-border arrests of foreign political leaders typically involve formal extradition, not domestic raids. If you see this, treat it as unverified. Look for statements from the RCMP, Global Affairs Canada, or the U.S. Department of Justice, and rely on established outlets before drawing conclusions. We'll update you if credible information emerges. Quick reset on today's essentials. Cloudy with light snow, around -1 degrees Celsius, a high of 1 and a low of -3. Watch for water main work zones and give crews space. Sens fans, keep an eye on Sogard's recall and the Blue Line rumor mill. Charge fans, welcome Sarah Coe. And for the sports analytics crowd, Drake Batherson's 5-on-5 surge is a fun case study in how tracking data, and yes, increasingly AI-driven analysis, helps us separate hot streaks from sustainable trends. That's it for today. If this helped you navigate the city and the scores, share it with a neighbor who's dodging pylons and refreshing the Sens roster page. Talk tomorrow.